some space weather, solar wind flowing from the patchy coronal holes of the sun could reach Earth on March 28th to 29, possibly causing minor G1-class geomagnetic storms. These are the coronal holes that we're looking at that will cause the solar storms, the geomagnetic storms. Now, what is a G1 class? It's a minor geomagnetic storm. Power systems could have weak power grid fluctuations can occur. Spacecraft operations, minor impact on satellite operations possible. Other systems, migratory animals are affected at this and higher levels. Aurora is commonly visible at high altitudes, for example, around northern Michigan and even in Maine. And there's also a beautiful restored image of a solar flare coming to us from May 1919, over 100 years old. And this is it. This was taken May 1919 by astronomers Andrew Crommelin and Charles Rundle Davidson. They traveled from the Greenwich Observatory in London to the path of totality of an eclipse in Sobral, Brazil. They were part of a global expedition headlined by Sir Arthur Eddington. Glass photographic plates from the expedition were typical of the early 20th century astrophotography, colorless and a little dull. Yesterday, a solar and heliospheric observatory, SOHO, saw partial halo CME leaving the sun. NOAA analysts have determined that the blast site is on the sun's far side. That means that the storm will not hit Earth, but Venus is the strike zone. Now, Einstein's eclipse restored. May 29, 1919, the moon slid in front of the sun and forever altered our understanding of space-time. It was Einstein's eclipse, quote unquote. Using his newly developed theory of relativity, the young German physicist had predicted that the sun's gravity should bend starlight, an effect which could only be seen during a total eclipse. Some of the greatest astronomers of the age rushed to check his predictions. Please support my Patreon channel since YouTube has again demonetized my YouTube channel. My Patreon channel will have 5 different videos from my YouTube channel every day. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below. And more than 100 years later, Peter Horlek, ESO Photo Ambassador, Institute of Physics in Opava, and Miloslav Druckmadler of Brno University Technology released a stunning restoration of the photo that proved that Einstein was right. The original picture, taken May 1919 by astronomers Andrew Crommelin and Charles Rundle Davidson, they traveled from Greenwich Observatory, London, to the path of totality in Sobral, Brazil. They were part of the global expedition, as we said, headlined by Sir Arthur Eddington. Glass photographic plates from the expedition were typically observed, typical of the early 20th century astrophotography. Now, the restoration shows how the eclipse would have been recorded today. A magnificent sight. The astronomers in Brazil must have been amazed when they saw the giant prominence with their unaided eyes. Horlek got the idea for this restoration in 2019 when he saw a partially restored image released by European Southern Observatory to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the eclipse. A scan of the original plate was provided by the Heidelberg Digitalized Astronomical Plates Project, and then the hard work began. Horlek says, I started by manually removing scratches and specks of dust from the copied plate. There were dozens of them, and the whole process took about 50 hours, he said. Next, Horlek applied NAFE, that's Noise Adaptive Fuzzy Equalization software, to sharpen the remaining details developed by Druckmadler to enhance images from NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory. NAF worked marvelously on the old eclipse picture, revealing delicate streamers and hints of a dipole structure in the sun's corona. Finally, he added color. He says, I created a palette to make the image as natural as possible. The sun's corona is white because it is sunlight scattered by free electrons. The prominence has that special red color, H-alpha, which hydrogen makes in the sun's atmosphere. Once these two colors were fixed, the dark blue hue of the background sky emerged naturally. And voila, a new modern view of Einstein's eclipse. Meanwhile, back in 1919, the eclipse was a sensation. Eddington measured the position of the stars near the sun during the eclipse. Two of them, 65 and 67 Tauri, may be found at the bottom right of the restoration. They were displaced just as Einstein predicted. Space-time really was a fabric that could be stretched. The result was splashed across the front pages of most major newspapers, making Einstein and his theory of general relativity world famous. And Einstein has been quoted describing his reaction if general relativity had not been confirmed. He said, I would feel sorry for the dear Lord. The theory is correct anyway. Now, 2021 is the 100th anniversary of Einstein's Nobel Prize, says Horlick. This photo is our way of paying tribute to his work. This is on space weather, and all of you around Michigan or Maine, you may be able to see auroras in the next few days. This is on space weather. Thank you for your support.